The purpose of summer storage is to prepare learning tools so students can receive the same devices when they are distributed at the beginning of next school year, and prepare learning tools and peripherals for annual IT asset physical inventory. The following video will walk you through the steps in which a school takes in order to plan and implement the summer storage of their digital learning tools. Prior to collection of the devices, the school leadership team meets and discusses the following. The leadership team and the school police determine the best place for the lockbox. They review, discuss, and determine a customized collection strategy that they will use for their digital learning tools. The school leadership team has determined that a portion of the collection will take place in the classroom and the other portion will take place in the collection room. Leadership then determines a collection date and a collection schedule for their digital learning tools. They take into consideration the human resources that will be available to them on that date and give themselves enough time in order to implement the restitution policy. They decided that in order to have the best chances of retrieving all the digital learning tools, they would first collect them from the matriculating or graduating students and then the other students. Lastly, they decided to notify the parents and the students many weeks before the day of collection. On the day of collection, teachers have already ensured that the devices are charged to capacity. The devices then need to be completely shut down. In the case of the iPads, this is done by holding down the on-off button until the slide to power off notification appears. If the devices are powered down properly, they will still carry a charge for many months. This will make redistribution much more effective and efficient. The teachers then distribute the cleaning wipes, and the students clean their devices. They are told not to remove the case. On the day of collection, teachers will distribute labels to their students. If the students are matriculating or graduating, they will receive a blue label to be placed on their device. A device with a blue label indicates that this device needs to be repurposed for a student that does not have a device. If a student has a damaged or defective device, they will receive a red label to be placed on their device. This red label indicates that the device will not be stored at the school, and instead it will be repaired and/or replaced during the break. Students will then receive a label with their name already on it. They are to place this label on top of their old label with their name on it. They are then to write their passcode on the label. Some schools will elect to store their students' peripherals. The student is given a plastic bag and a label with their name on it. The bag is placed on the table and then the label is applied. This student is putting the school-supplied charger that he took home along with the school-supplied earbuds into the bag. Now the first physical scan of the devices takes place. This school has chosen to scan in the student ID label sheets before the first physical scan of the devices. Consider who will do the scanning, when and where the scanning will take place, and what to do if the devices do not reconcile with the scanned names from the labels. After all the devices for the school have been scanned into a spreadsheet, it is then emailed to IT Asset Management. Bins for storage of devices are then labeled by teacher. In alphabetical order, the devices are then loaded into the bin. No more than 13 devices should ever be loaded into a bin. The devices are then transported to the collection room. Consider who will transport the devices and what devices at a particular time will be transported. In this particular instance, the school has chosen to transport all the 5th grade devices at one time. This will make for a more efficient sorting in the collection room. In the collection room, the devices will be optimally sorted. In this collection room, one of the bins has been designated to receive the red-labeled damaged devices. The red-labeled devices will not be stored at the school site. This school has chosen to sort by grade level and then alphabetical order. The school is also mindful of the blue-labeled devices. These devices need to be repurposed. When the blue-labeled devices are loaded into the lockbox, they should be positioned so that they can be accessed first. On the day of collection, it needs to be noted that some schools will elect to have their students go to a central location where they will shut down, clean, label, scan, and sort the devices. Apple TVs need to be collected from each teacher and scanned. Peripherals also need to be collected. Peripherals and Apple TVs are then placed in a bin and sealed. The digital learning tools in the bins are transported from the collection location to the storage location. Before the devices are loaded into the lockbox, they are scanned a second time, and then the spreadsheet is emailed to ITAM. The devices are then loaded into the lockbox. There are different versions of the lockbox, and they have to be loaded a particular way. Contact your VLC for this information. It is strongly suggested that devices with blue labels are loaded last. This way MCSAs can access them quickly and repurpose them. When the devices have been loaded into the lockbox, school police needs to sign off, and the signature needs to be submitted to IT Asset Management. The devices have been locked up. The lockbox key needs to be delivered to IT Asset Management. The storage process is now complete.